I have a few of these chairs that I use in my garage. Got them for free and pretty sturdy for the most part, but one of them completely broke down. I ended up burning most of it, but I did save this. Don't think I've seen this done before, but can we get a plate out of this?
Usually, when I tell someone that I woodwork, this is exactly the kind of project they think I work on. My projects, I usually start with green wood. Then comes rough turning, and then only when the wood is dry, I can finally turn it and maybe get something out of it. Today, I'm doing something different, and this one goes out to the person who suggested this idea. In all seriousness, I'm excited for this. I decided to make this the bottom of the plate. This seat had some curves to fit your behind comfortably. My plan is to effectively absorb all the undulations into the natural curve of the plate. And yes, I realize I used behind and plate in the same sentence. Probably going to be using this to display things and maybe not eat. I don't know about you, but I don't usually get a chance to cut directly into a seat. So, as a non-furniture maker, I'm actually excited to see what's inside of it. Off the rip, the first thing I notice is just the excessive amount of dust coming out of this piece. I usually sharpen my gouges before I start turning, so it's not the gouge, it's just there's a lot of dust in this wood. That usually indicates, usually, not always, that the wood was kiln dried. There's something about that process that makes the wood produce a lot more dust. Not my favorite kind of wood to turn. Second major thing you will notice is that most traditional chairs, especially in production runs, are not made out of one big slab of wood. They usually take smaller slabs that they can source from different trees or offcuts and then glue them together. Because a seat usually does not experience combined compression forces, a simple glue up is strong enough for most applications. So, you've seen the title of the video by now. Can you guess what happens later? Maybe leave your best guesses in the comments below. I'd love to read what you guys think. I have a couple of sizes marked here for my chuck jaws. I'm going to be going with a recess. This slab is not that thick. When you do not have a lot of wood to work with, a recess is a good option. It lets you hide that grab point for the chuck within the piece. This way you don't have to sacrifice more wood to create a foot that you might eventually turn away. And even if you don't, you cannot utilize that wood anymore for the depth of the piece. You should be able to tell what I mean in just a second. I will go back and re-establish the curve on this plate slightly more than my usual projects. There isn't any trick to it, it's just the slab is slightly thinner than what I'm used to working with. I just want to make sure I'm not taking too much wood off at once. As you turn more, you start to get familiar with the sound, the smell, just the feel of the wood you're working with. As I was turning this, I could tell the wood was slightly earthy and it smelled slightly sweet. I think this is oak. I felt the pores and they're very open. The color matches. I'm pretty sure this is oak. white oak to be precise. If you didn't know, red oak is the industry standard for wood hardness. White oak is a couple of degrees harder than red oak is. Oak in general is a very reliable wood. No wonder we see it used in all kinds of furnitures, and I think it totally deserves its spot. So here you're gonna just see me use a clever trick. I'm spinning the lathe in reverse because I have a point on my scraper on the right hand side, and I can use it to give me a crisp cut into the recess, which I couldn't do if the lathe was spinning normally. It's time for sanding. Quick tip, please keep your eyes peeled. Let's see if you got this right in your comment earlier. What was that? I'm so mad at myself because I tried this. I tested the piece multiple times before to see that it wasn't cracked and did not break then. Now, I did turn away a fair chunk of the wood, so fair warning, if you're gonna try to recreate this, make sure your piece is very stable. This could have gone badly, but I was taking all precautions and I was out of the line of fire. Now, these things do happen. You better believe I'm double checking everything from this point onward.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Thanks for sticking around. Gotta admit, once that chunk broke off, I did consider dropping the entire project. There is always a concern for safety once something like that happens. Once I core the inside, there's even fewer strands of wood holding everything together. I knew I could make it safe though, as long as I stuck to my principles. Also, this point onward, I was paying extra attention to the piece. Basically, I was listening for any cracks and I was checking the stability of the piece throughout the process, so I kept everything much safer from here. Oh, that's looking much better than I thought. Even some joints coming through. Time to flip it around. So, yes, I did some research on who made these chairs. It wasn't easy. You can tell a lot of the logos faded away. I might need your help with this one. And yes, thank you so much. All of you, everyone who has made it this far into the video, or you have subscribed or liked my videos in the past. I really appreciate it. You guys keep me going. Thank you. This time, working with the platter, I found myself enjoying it a lot more. I think it's safe to say with the platter you have a lot better access. With a bowl, you have those sweeping curves that go deeper into the timber. And with the platter, you're working much closer to the surface. Let's say you have more control when you're that close to the cutting edge. For my friends here that have played pool, you know what I mean. So far, the wood's actually turning really well. There's a little bit of dust coming out from that dry wood like we talked about before, but I'm pretty happy with the progress. I am already at a point where I need to start thinking about my rim. Since this is a platter, the general height I can get out of this is gonna be short, so I'm going to go with a wider rim. I believe that lets me blend the shallower curve of a platter with the edge quite well. It gives it a more complete look, especially when you go to pick it up. It feels nice on your hands because you have that meaty portion to hold the platter with. For those familiar with turning tools, you might have used a standard scraper before. This is the same tool. The only difference is that this standard scraper is thinner than most. That's because I only use it for surface scraping and I don't need the stability of a thicker scraper in these applications. Fun fact, this actually used to be a skew chisel that I've repurposed into being a standard scraper. I've seen other masters do this previously and it has worked well for me. The surface looked good and I'm off to sanding. Sanding on a lathe is both fun and frustrating. It's fun because it's so efficient, but it's frustrating because there's so much of it. But anyway, I'm not gonna be the 1,067th person to complain about sanding on your feed. Let's look at what this platter looked like after I apply some finish. Let's get to the fun part. One thing that I would love to happen with these videos is to hear from you. I really want you to tell me what you think of this piece. Don't worry about being nice. I want to get some feedback. Do you think this is something I can explore further? I've mostly been turning bowls, so please let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, please like and consider subscribing. It helps out a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.